podcast station. This is Let's Talk. I don't count likes, calories, or blessings. I don't die with snakes or bite my tongue. It is what it is. I am what I am, and I am your host, Tony Williams. Shout out to my new listeners and my online stay ones. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. This podcast contains some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. To get in touch with On One Radio, the call-in number is 318-315-3971. Again, that's 318-315-3971. And to email on1radiotalk@gmail.com. Welcome to Let's Talk, brought to you by On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Welcome, come on in, get comfortable, laugh, and enjoy. Welcome, come on in. I'm your host, Tony Williams, and you are listening to Let's Talk on One Radio, the talk show podcast station. I hope everyone is doing all right out there, and you are having a great day. Now, what we're going to be talking about, and I know a lot of people are talking about this, is Netflix's new movie that is going to be coming out. Now, there are a lot of opinions on this, and some, are detailed, some are good, some are bad. But there's a lot of emotion that is going into it. There's a bit of an uproar about it. If you don't know, Netflix is coming out with a new movie called Cuties. Yes, Cuties. Now, they end up having to apologize. I know you're thinking, why are they apologizing for a movie that they're coming out with? Well, Netflix apologizes for inappropriate Cuties poster. And it's been slammed for sexualizing little girls. Now, in the era that we're living in, that's a big deal. Now, if you have not seen the poster for this movie, you can go over to Netflix and check it out. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can see the trailer and everything for yourself. So let's jump right into it. Now, Netflix has apologized for and withdrawn a poster for its upcoming coming-of-age drama Cuties. Now, they said, we're deeply sorry for the inappropriate artwork that we used for McNown's Cuties, a Netflix spokesperson said in a statement. It was not okay, nor was it representative of this French film which premiered at Sundance. We've now updated the pictures and description. Now, the film was rated TVMA, but it features minors. So a lot of people had a problem with that, which it kind of made me think, okay, is this for kids, or is it's obviously not for kids, so who is it really for? It's for adults, but it's about kids. I mean, it's not like it's parenting or anything. So, you know what I mean? It kind of, it piques the interest and makes you wonder what's going on with it. Now, Cuties won the World Cinema Dramatic Directing Award at the Sundance Film Festival in January. The film follows 11-year-old Senegalese immigrant Amy, played by Fadia Youssef, who upsets her mother by opting to join the Cuties, a quartet of scantily dressed girls who rehearse dances after school. Now, Maimona Guy plays Amy's mom. Now, with 3 kids and her husband bringing home a second wife, she has her plate full. This film is directed by Maimouna Dekur. I apologize if I fucked your name up. Currently has an 82% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. Netflix recently began promoting the movie ahead of its release on the platform for September 9th. Now, the artwork, because a lot of people were going ballistic over the artwork. Now, I looked at the former artwork before they changed it. And yeah, I was kind of looking at it like, what the hell? The fuck is going on here? What is this? And now, I know a lot of people say you can't judge a book by its cover, but actually, you can. The cover is usually what makes people want to watch the movie or read the book. It's the first thing you see to pique your interest to even crack it open to see a synopsis. To see if you even want to see the movie or read the book. Now, the artwork for the French language film depicted 4 adolescent girls wearing revealing cheerleading outfits and posting provocatively, drawing backlash on social media for sexualizing little girls. Now, the Parents Television Council implored Netflix to remove the film rated M from its site. They stated it is so revealing that the first major Netflix original to center young black girls hinges on explicitly sexualizing 11-year-old children. Now, this is actually what a Twitter user by the name of Claire tweeted. Whether it is acting or music, a sexualized image is too often the price of mainstream success for black women and girls. It is disgraceful. Now, another Twitter user states, the artwork is a depiction of the entire film, which encourages prepubescent girls to explore their sexuality and act in sexual ways. The film is pedophilia, basically soft porn. Now, there are some petitions out there to get this film removed. There are a few petitions online, and one has achieved over 65,000 signatures and counting. So there's a lot of people who have a big problem with this. So is this movie a good thing, a bad thing? It's not, from what I have researched and seen, it's not based on a true story or anything. It is a fictional story. So, is it grooming? Is it dangerous content? Is it going to aid in, promote, or exacerbate the standing problem of sex trafficking and pedophilia? And these are all the questions that are swimming around not only my head, but a lot of people's head. You want to know, what is the deal? Why would you do this? Why would you write this story? And they're all legitimate questions. Now, I'll say this. It is a story that I would say maybe it does need to be told in a different way, maybe. But stories are meant to entertain. They're meant to teach. They're meant to make you think. But movies are basically, if they're not based on true stories, it's basically entertainment. Now, whose entertainment is key here? A lot of people feel as though this is entertainment for pedophiles, which they've shortened and called pedos. So, is it for pedophiles? It's a really good question. Now, I seriously doubt that the writer was writing this story for specifically pedophiles. I mean, let's be honest. When when someone writes a story for a movie, it is for a broad range of audiences, not necessarily just for one specific group of people or persons. It is for the enjoyment and entertainment of moviegoers in general. So, should they take it down? I mean, what do y'all think about this? If you're listening to this on YouTube, definitely comment and let me know what you think of this. Have you seen the trailer? Or is this a jump on the bandwagon thing of let's beat up the writer, basically, beat them down about their choice in writing this movie? Now, the reality of it is that the movie is not yet up in the US, seeing as it is an as yet unreleased film. So it cannot be removed, and that's simply because it has not been put up yet. So these petitions to have it removed are early. Let's say that. Because it hasn't been put up, so doing a petition to have it removed, it's not going to really do anything because it has not been put up yet. So you can't remove something that has not been put up. Now, not to mention, we are living in an era of sex trafficking and pedophilia. Let me be clear. Anything and everything a child does and says, a pedophile takes pleasure in viewing with the hopes and fantasies of them being able to be with a minor sexually. So from children's pageants, cheerleading, social media posts, to movies, it really is a catch-22 when it comes to pedophilia. Because they can take anything. They can take anything innocent, and in their mind, it becomes something sexual. It's not okay. It's not good. It's not good at all. But it happens. It really does happen. Now, if we're to be in an uproar about the Cuties movie, we should be the same way offline as we are online about what we see that is sexualizing children. Now, do we use that same energy to condemn the moms or even the dads or guardians in general who allow their daughters to wear skimpy clothing, post pics of it online, who go and come as they please day or night? No. Where are the petitions or outrage about that? Now, don't get me wrong. I do not in any way condone sexualizing minors or pedophilia. But this is a movie, a fictional movie, telling a story. Yes, some things could have been done differently to the story as well as to promote the movie. But something good does come from this uproar. And it is the fact that it is pedophilia awareness. Now, this awareness is sweeping the nation and throughout our homes. It is a conversation that is imperative to have with our kids, families, friends, neighbors, associates, and even coworkers. Now, this is also a movie written by a black woman, and the lead is a black girl, which makes me think. Now, thinking back over all the other movies that has been put out where there has been some sexualizing of minors or women or what have you, who were written by people of another skin tone or shade or race, however you like to call it. But did they get this much uproar and petitioning about their movies? So it pretty much kind of begs the question for me. Is it because this is a black woman who wrote this? I mean, if we're going to put it all together, let's put it all together. Let's not leave out any of it. Would a Caucasian woman, if she had wrote this, would it be the same outcome? And before you rush and say yes, actually stop and think about it. Really, would it? Or would there be a lot of defending of the movie? Would the poster have been changed? Would the description have been changed? Just as we're living in the era of sex trafficking and pedophilia, we're also living in the era of pretty much a racial war. So it is relevant and it does come into play. Now, if we're going to be, like I said, in an uproar about this, let's be in an uproar and get together and band together and do petitions on everything that promotes sexualizing of minors, of women. Let's not just condemn this one movie. If we're going to be equal, let's be equal. There are other scenarios and situations that did in fact deserve this same type of uproar, yet it did not take place. Now, a lot of people are hitting Twitter hard and other social media platforms, letting it be known about their disgust for the movie and calling for petitions to remove something that, well, hasn't been put up yet. But are we doing this without seeing the trailer for it? Are we doing this just because of the original movie poster? If so, check out the trailer first before passing judgment. Now, like I stated before, I don't condone in any way pedophilia or even sexualizing minors, because it's just not cool at all. I really feel that children need to remain children while they can. And I don't want the kids going to see some movie that is going to make them go, I think I want to twerk, when they didn't know what twerking was. Because then that would be kind of promoting that sexualizing behavior. I mean, they've got plenty of time. There's enough on social media already, that is enough videos on YouTube and everywhere else on twerking and so forth. So, it brings me back to the earlier statement. Now, the movie was rated MA. So if it's not for children, it's for adults. It's for mature audiences. Mature, that's a broad statement because we have children who are a bit more mature than adults, and vice versa. So, I mean, now the story is about 11-year-old little girls. It's just as when you go to a football game and you see the cheerleaders with the short skirts, and it's entertainment. It's to entertain the crowd, to get them hyped for the football game, and so forth. Out of all the people sitting in that stadium, you don't know who sitting around you or across from you, or even on the other side of the field for the opposite team. You don't know who's pedophile and who's not. Hell, the coach could be a pedophile. The water boy could be a pedophile. Anybody around you in that stadium could be a pedophile. And they're getting a thrill off watching your girls or your nieces or your adopted daughter or whoever the cheerleaders are to you. They could be getting off secretly on watching their panties as their cheerleading skirt goes up and down. The same thing with the beauty pageants for the little girls. They're dressed very provocative. They're dancing provocative. You don't know who out there sitting in that audience, and they're televised now, so you don't know who's sitting in the audience or who's watching it on the television whacking off to it, or who's getting a thrill off of it. So if we're going to slam the movie, we got to slam everything else that's doing the exact same thing. If we're going to say that this movie is sexualizing little girls, isn't cheerleading, isn't the pageants, isn't the little girls walking up and down the street with the little short shorts on, the ones taking the selfies, posting them online, the moms, dads, uncles, aunts, or whoever is not doing anything about that. We're not petitioning them to lose their children. We're not petitioning Twitter or Facebook or any of the sites to take down those images that are up there. But this situation, like I said, the silver lining is that this much needed conversation is taking place because of this movie. Now, we all know, this movie is already showing. It's already showing. Not in the U.S., but this is a French film, and we know the French are kind of freaky. Doesn't excuse them, but we know that they are. And their views on things like this is much different. I'm pretty sure there are people over there going, I don't think this is a good idea. And by all means, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. And if you feel that this movie is not a good thing, by all means, you are free to speak on it. But keep in mind, just as much as you're speaking up on this movie, have you spoken up and started petitions about the sites that you've seen with children on them in skimpy clothing and twerking and dancing and singing, or the pageants or anything of that nature? Or the Instagram photos that you've ran across of somebody's child up there that a lot of older adults would call being fast. So if we're going to speak on this, speak on the rest of it. Keep it 100. Everyone's looking for equality, so be fair about this movie. If you have not seen the trailer, see the trailer. Like I stated before, I'm going to include the Link in the description of this podcast show so that you can see it for yourself. Because let's be honest, there are a lot of stories that should be told. And yes, there's a way to do anything. So we have to really look at it like that. So do we not tell stories of things that actually happened, or even the fictional ones? But either way, this is awareness. This is awareness on several levels. From child endangerment to the sexualizing of our children to racial injustice. It's a bit of it all wrapped up in one. So let's keep this shit fair. Your opinion is your opinion, just like my opinion is my opinion. And we're all free to speak on our opinions. But just take the moment to think before you do so. You feel that strongly about this situation. How have you felt about the previous things that have taken place that have fell through the cracks, that were actually much worse than this movie? So let's keep this shit fair and do it right. That way we can all actually be on one accord with the sex trafficking and the sexualizing of our children. Because it's not just about the little girls. Yes, this movie is about the little girls pretty much on a twerking dance team. But there's so much more that's actually taking place in the world that's not even being discussed. Yet we're in an uproar about a non-true story. So if we're going to do petitions, let's do petitions about everything that is not right. Not just this movie. Now, do I want to see my little girl or my grandchildren on stage and on social media twerking in skimpy clothes? Hell no. Hell to the no. Not a damn chance. I'm not having it. Yet at the same time, we allow so much to go on and not speak up about it. Not throw a petition out there. So check into it before you go haywire and get your panties or your drawers in a bunch, to make sure that it is what it is. Like I said, free speech is free speech, and if you feel like it's not right, who am I to stop you from saying so? I would never do that. But I must say kudos to the writer for being a black woman, writing this movie, or writing, not necessarily this movie, but a movie period, and having a black girl to be the star of the movie. So for that aspect of it, kudos, writer. And keep writing. Thank you guys. Comment, let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. I would love to hear it on this topic of the Netflix series Cuties, which will be shown in the US starting September 9th. Now, I may see this movie just so I can see what's what in the movie. Like I said, I've watched the trailer. If you haven't watched it, watch it, so you can get a better understanding of what's what. Like I said, it's entertainment, but there's always a better way to do things. And on that note, y'all have a good one. I'm out. You have been listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk show. Now, if you know an artistic mind who deserves a little bit of podcast love and talent recognition, email me here at onOneRadioTalk@gmail.com. Place it to the attention of artist highlights. If you've got some BS for the BS of the day, email, place it to the attention of BS of the day. Now, for more, we're on YouTube. The name there is Tony on One. You can find On One Radio on Facebook. And while you're there cruising Facebook streets, check out On One's Day One's private Facebook group, where we laugh, joke, and get it in. Now we're also on WordPress, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Tumblr, and Collide. Podcasts are also available on most of your favorite podcast sites and apps. Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk show. I wish you the best, and don't allow anyone to fuck up your lives. I've been your host, Tony Wood.